podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. Oh, we got special guest Michael Philip Reed on the podcast today. It's the Bennettarium. Oh boy, it's the Bennettarium, and it's starting right now.
Welcome to the Bennettarium. I am one of your hosts, Isabella Bunny Bennett, and I play Rabbit in Steam Powered Giraffe.
My name's David Michael Bennett, and I play the Spine in Steam Powered Giraffe.
And my name is Michael Reed, and I shall be finding out what I'm going to be doing soon here with these two. So.
Well, we thought it would be a cool idea to have Michael Reed, who of Steam Powered Giraffe and Smart Brothers fame, on the podcast.
Yes, and there's another reason that he's on the podcast, which we're going to make public now. Michael will be joining us as our special guest musician for our July 20th show during Comic-Con.
That's a show in San Diego at the Escondido Performing Arts Center at the Center Theater there.
And I'm very excited.
So yeah, we'll have Michael's talents once again back in the bands for that lovely little show.
And you know, the band's gone through some changes. You know, we used to have a drummer on stage.
There was a guy with a mustache. He's gone now.
Yeah. But it'll be a little interesting this time because we get the backing tracks that we've been using with just the three people on stage for the last 4 years or so. And then now Mike will come and replace some of them tracks for that show. And it'll be interesting because before all the musicians on stage made all the music and stuff on stage, but now it would be it'll be somewhere in between, which is exciting because we've never done that before either.
I'm thinking of having a similar rig as last time. If you've looked back on videos, there's a keyboard and a guitar and maybe a couple other things, but we'll see about that.
Yeah. A cowbell, one of those gongs, a church bell.
So that'll be exciting. If you're not going to be in San Diego,
slide whistle.
Well, now you should get your tickets.
Yeah, and it's going to be really fun. And I know that we're going to have questions about this, but as for future shows, we don't want to make any promises, but we're going to see how this one goes and go from there. And maybe it's not out of the question that Michael join us for other local shows.
Yeah, local shows definitely in the realm of possibilities for the future.
We'll see how this one goes, and
because for local shows we can do whatever we want. I'm gonna unplug this mic.
Touring is a little more complicated, but
you don't need that one.
But it's great to have Michael back. We haven't actually caught up since you were at the show in secret. This Saturday when we did our live stream, you were kind of shadowing, I guess, kind of seeing what changed.
Enjoying it from the shadows, and it was really mind-blowing how much more advanced technologically the group has gotten, and it's really cool to see that. And Steve is doing a great job.
Yeah, Steve's really
he's
up
the
the
guy
game.
to thank for that. I mean, the projections, I think we kind of dabbled when you were in the band, but I don't think they were like a cemented part by that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like they have to be in the act. And then we have the new lights for local shows, all programmed. Yeah, we bought them.
Oh, that's great. Those are great.
Well, Steve owns them.
Yeah, well,
because he actually, I mean, he rents his equipment out to people now and stuff. So you know,
those LED stands.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's his, but you know, sometimes we'll have to rent stuff for some local shows. But
it's really cool.
Yeah, he owns. He's you know, like the screen. If you saw that screen. Like that was like something that was gonna go in the garbage.
What?
And you know, yeah, he found someone who was gonna throw it away. And
how tall is that thing? That looked really.
But
great.
see, it's not as complicated as it seems. Like, you know, the cheapest stuff sometimes looks okay. You know, like in that screen.
Whose projector was that? Was that his or?
I don't really know. You know, I think the projector. He does own a projector, but it's like real old one.
Is that rear projection that you guys?
Yeah, we did rear projection.
Okay, cool.
The first two live streams we did, we just had like a crappy LCD monitor that was
I really like what we did with the last one.
So we're like up in the game. Like the first time, our first idea for that first live stream was like one camera and that's enough. But then the first live stream we actually had 3 cameras, and then we just been building it up. That's only our 3rd live stream, and it's weird. It's weird not having an audience.
It looks amazing from the audience, and I haven't seen it on the camera's angle yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I was actually intrigued. I was like, I'm so glad we went with a plot. Like, it kept me interested, and I've seen the act like so many times. So like, I would check it out, guys. If you haven't seen it, it's archived on our YouTube. Steam Powered Giraffe's wacky, wonderful, fun boy summer show.
The title was long and obnoxious, and we don't really remember what it was called.
So go watch it. It's a lot of fun, a lot of crack up moments.
If you've seen one of the previous live streams, you should note that the audio is significantly improved, because instead of giving you a line directly from the soundboard that's just mono, it's actually Steve mixing the sound live as if he was mixing it for a live show.
So it's in stereo.
It is in stereo, but in stereo in the sense that there's two binaural microphones that are spaced apart, and they're picking up the room in stereo, which the sound just sounds more dynamic.
If you wear headphones, it's like you're in the room. It's like you're in the concert. There's a moment when I demonstrate by coming up to one of the microphones and whispering in your guys' ear.
That worked out pretty well, actually.
And then I put my tongue in your ear, and it's a very intimate moment.
You can
only experience it on our YouTube.
Well, there's some tweaks that we want to make. Like I felt the bass was way too heavy. That's probably just because of subwoofers and stuff. Because even though we have the binaural mics, like it doesn't replicate what we're hearing like in the space. So after Steve is able to hear what we recorded and stuff, then we can like, oh, okay, we need to default a little less on the bass. Stuff like, the treble was way too high, so we had to bring down the highs a little bit. So
moving forward, if there's ever any problems with the shows, you can just say, I think it's time for a heat wave.
Yeah. That's a pretty good one.
Oh, I'm gonna miss that.
I've put the giant beach ball in storage for next summer.
What the heck? Where did you get that thing?
Where everyone else gets everything else, Amazon.
So, yeah, I was like trying to record the audio of the show, and I looked down, and then I looked up, and there was this beach ball. And I was like, I don't understand where that came from, because I was walking around the whole place and I didn't see it.
Well, there wasn't too many lights on, when you showed up, like, we only had the stage lights, so we had a lot of stuff hidden behind.
And you had a tiny one?
Yeah.
It was fun. I'm really glad, like, from a story perspective, that was one of the changes we wanted to make.
Story.
Well, I mean, it's stupid, but it kind of worked. Like, it always propelled the show forward.
I mean, the whole act is stupid.
But I mean, it was a simple plot. The mayor of summer is missing, and it turns out that, I don't want to spoilers, cover your ears, but Rabbit thought it was the mayor of lumber, and she knew that the mayor of summer was already here, and it's a beach ball. That's the form he took.
For one thing, the mayor of lumber doesn't rhyme with summer, but somehow it's not like, that doesn't sound similar.
So we're thinking, like, in the future, we don't know what our next show is going to be, but it's a pretty good chance that it's going to be a Halloween special. So we'll have a ghost wave where people will come.
Ghost wave.
Looks like it's time for another ghost wave.
It's obviously time for a monster mash or a monster.
I mean, we could do that actually. Do like a spooky, like, I don't know, like a theremin playing Munsters music. No. We just have like a bunch of Frankensteins coming out,
or like, something like or a zombie train like just comes through, like, or it's like, what are those things where they do? Where they have like a line.
Limbo.
Menage a trois.
No.
What are those lines called?
A limbo.
A Congo?
Congo.
A Congo.
A
Congo line. Where they're talking gorillas.
Something like that. And it just cuts through the...
So Halloween Spectacular, we're hyping it up now. It'll be October when we figure it out.
I mean, maybe we'll do one earlier.
In 3D.
We do have a month where we don't have any shows sometime before October. I don't know where.
Do you think you'll pull out Ghost Grinders?
I was thinking like Suspender Man, Ghost Grinder, or
you know
Scary
what?
World,
or
maybe all three.
We did play Ghost Grinder a few times with backing tracks, so we're already.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh wait, did we?
Yeah, not very long, but we did.
It worked all right.
So we're almost there.
I mean, the thing is, like with a local show, I could pull out the accordion again, but traveling, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah. It's
because
guitar right now.
You could learn it on guitar. It has an accordion.
Suspender Man I think is more impressive with the accordion. Like,
were you doing buttons or keys? You're doing both.
For what?
For the accordion.
I was we started with one that had keys on both sides, I believe. And then I upgraded to a chromatic, it didn't have any plugins, but we just like attached mics to it. And then we upgraded to this digital one, which was really complicated.
I think you were there when we had the
Roland?
digital one.
Yeah, the Roland, which was just a bitch to
and with a big pad
program.
Buttons,
yeah, I still use that, but honestly, when I'm like, I just take out my old chromatic. I'd rather use that if we're gonna, and just mic that if we're gonna do it.
It was a female dog to program, right?
Is that? Oh, I'm not supposed to say that, right? I'm
well,
sorry.
no. I mean, if your reference was a female dog, then I don't have to cut it out. So.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, that's why I didn't like that. And then when we got the guitar, I was like, why am I playing the accordion? It's not, technically it can do all the sounds the accordion can do, except it sounds better.
This thin.
Right. But I do miss the accordion. For like Suspender Man, I'd want to bring back. Maybe we can get my old chromatic working, but I don't know. We'll see.
Is it local? Are you thinking? A
What?
local show?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could.
Because that'd be easier than flying with an accordion.
Yeah.
I guess you'll see.
I mean, Suspender Man. I mean, Ghost Grinder's great and all, but if we got you and a banjo, and we can dress up and take video of
that'd be great.
Of Brian as the Suspender Man, which was always intended.
Okay.
Even before he was in the bands. That'd be great. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. And I want to hear Scary World again too.
Oh, he's doing so good. It was really cool to see him in person playing Zero.
Oh yeah, what do you think? Do you think he's
I think
fit in?
great.
Did you
my
hear his new
gosh.
song?
And his new song is amazing. It's really truly a good song, just standalone by itself, and it's great to hear it in this format.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's not more of the same for Steam Powered Giraffe, and being able to. I mean, same with like when Sam brought songs to the table. It's always. The variety is nice, but then also trying to make it fit in the Steam Powered Giraffe is also a fun challenge.
It's refreshing too. Just that nothing ever gets too stale every time we do like a member change up. I got to play bass on that, which I was really excited.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but I was
did.
playing bass
I
finally.
did.
It took me like 10 years, but I'm
That's
finally
great.
playing
It's
bass.
awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, we were talking about that like 10 years ago.
I mean, that one. I mean, that was like the perfect song to do something like that because like Brian was originally going to like maybe play like keyboard or something like maybe but it's so much more powerful that it's like him like doing what he does usually like in musical theater or his own band The Routine like
He plays little keys.
he does he knows piano a little
Okay,
bit.
cool.
He was thinking of
Yeah.
whipping it out, but for his first song, he just wanted to kind of keep it simple and.
It's a lot for him. He's doing the robot stuff as well as all that. It's a challenge for him, but he's approaching it with a lot of
Back in the
Right.
day when we didn't have all these streams, I mean, Sam had like 2 years to like shadow as the drummer, and then he came in as a robot, and then you could only see him perform for like a whole year, like
and there was
if you were in person.
and there was no video of him, and there may be crappy cell phone video.
Brian's
so-
first appearance is a music video where he's like front and center, and then his like one of his earliest concerts is live. Like
Yeah, it hasn't been very fair for
Oh,
him,
that's crazy.
unfortunately, because he's done more live streams than we've actually done shows in person.
okay.
The only shows he's done in person has been our Escondido show in February, and then we did the Everett Theater in Washington,
which was also in February.
in February, and then we did a Renaissance Festival
That's
last
it so
month,
far?
and that's it. And
Oh
then
my
and everything else
gosh.
has been the 3 live streams.
Oh, cool. I see.
And
I see.
it kind of sucks because like we've had the years of like performing to audience, which is great, but he's only had those 3 audiences, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
of course we want to do more live shows, but
At least he's had time with his band to get used to the
Oh,
audience,
yeah.
and so now he's just kind of having. I don't know if there's more screaming types of fans.
I mean yeah, I mean I mean he got a lot of love that first show too.
Yeah, totally. He's
But when
probably
Anime
loving it.
Midwest is going to be a lot bigger, I would imagine. Than
We're all
those
excited.
shows.
I mean, I think we miss the audience. Like every time, even at the Renaissance Festival, you just forget how it kind of just fuels you on stage to hear those screams and cheering and the
Oh, yeah,
laughter. Like
totally changes the show.
it
changes the
does.
show. Wait, who is Brian? I just walking around
wait, what?
at the fair. You were saw Gexicon.
Oh no.
Oh.
We went back the weekend after our
Oh, I see.
performance,
I
and
see.
then we
Brian,
dressed
Brian
up,
couldn't
yeah.
make it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, the weekend before we did the show, just Steam Powered Giraffe, and then they gave us some free tickets to come back as
Okay, I
ourselves.
see.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was the same day, but
No.
cool.
He wanted to go, but I don't know what he would have dressed up as. It was really hot. It was like 90-something degrees. It was miserable.
I haven't met Curly yet, but he seems like a really
Yeah.
capable guy.
Yep, streaming.
He does a lot of
Stuff.
technical streaming
Cool.
stuff.
I like. Do they have a camera on the board in the back for the engineer guys?
They
yeah,
do,
they
yeah.
both each have a
Cool.
camera.
I wasn't
too, yeah.
sure because I noticed they're like at the end they were like physically laying down on their.
Yeah.
I was like, so they must be able to be seen.
So yeah,
or else
Curly is
he's
able
doing
to
this for
switch
fun.
between the different stuff.
Okay, and so they have just one like in front of them.
Yeah.
That's rad. That's
What we
good.
need to do the last few streams, like it's been usually Steve and I setting up everything, and then everyone just comes on the day of. But now we're thinking we need like Curly there because like even though I do all the technical setup with the stream and stuff, then I just hand it over to him, and then I really don't know what happens. So
Cool.
so I think maybe introducing him to the setup process and stuff like we can, because there was stuff like, oh, is it a little too dark? And we're like, well, it's not too dark for this scene, but it looks better here. And like, I don't know.
So mark your calendars in October for the Halloween Pooptacular.
Well, maybe we'll have one
Curly.
before that. We should look at our upcoming show schedule, because it sucks to wait a month with no shows. Is not great.
We could have like Christmas in July.
Yeah, and just well, it doesn't need to be said, but the choreography and the dancing is really, really, really cool. So good job to the people doing that.
Wherever one of those people might be.
It's really, really good. Honestly.
Chelsea's over there working on merchandise stuff.
Cool.
But
You guys are in it. It's great.
We didn't.
We're doing quite a bit now.
Yeah, it's cool.
Did we have the ballets when you were?
Just bits in the
we
middle,
had some bits, yeah.
but nothing like that.
But now
It's really great,
Now
yeah.
they've kind of become they're on stage more than they're on they're off stage.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We weren't a part of it yet.
Mm.
yeah.
And we're both dancers.
It's amazing.
Uh,
Sisters?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I wish my brother and I were ballet dancers.
Belly dancers.
Ballet.
It's not too late,
I think
Michael.
we
You can
ballet
still do it. You can
Both
make
of
your
those.
dreams come true.
Matt, get on this with me.
Okay, cool. Steam Powered Giraffe. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. So our next show is going to be.
Anime Midwest.
I think it's July 7th.
It's there's a week in between Anime Midwest and our San Diego show. So
yeah, I'm excited for Anime Midwest. I'm gonna do a cosplay. I'm doing Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman.
Oh, I saw that
It's-
picture.
Yeah,
It's
it's a really
great.
cool costume.
The blonde?
Yeah,
It's
because
cool.
Selena Kyle and she's all like being shot up and
Oh,
killed
yeah,
at
it's
the
all
end
yeah.
by
mhm.
Max Schreck.
That's a great. Don't you have that poster?
I love Catwoman.
That's- I remember seeing that poster a long time ago.
But Anime Midwest is really cool. It's in Rosemont, Illinois. It's basically Chicago, and we'll be back in Lockport, Illinois. Illinois's come September, August.
Chelsea,
September.
when is the Illinois show?
September 15th,
Yeah, lock.
September 22nd,
Nice.
September 23rd in Lockport, Illinois for the Great Midwestern Ballyhoo.
Yeah, see,
Is that what it's
someone
called?
remembered
Ballyhoo?
Together,
Yeah.
we somehow know everything.
Is this like a Illinois term?
Yeah, in
Bally-
Illinois's term.
Ballyhoo?
Ballyhoo.
It's
Wow.
it's an event put on by the mayor of
I'm
Lockport
intrigued.
there, and they do a really nice job.
It was a lot of fun last
That's
last
cool.
time.
Good. That's
We
great.
were worried the first year. We were like, we've never heard of this. It's always a little scary going to a new event because you don't know like what's going to happen. But this was actually
Legit.
really, really well done.
We'll be going to the UK in August.
Oh, I heard that show is amazing.
That show is a lot of fun. Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see if anyone gives a damn the second year we
I
show up.
I took video of the whole autograph session that I wanted to speed up, but I think the files got corrupted. But there was some crazy stuff that happened that I recorded.
Oh yeah.
Someone tried to kiss me. They had to like tear someone out. Like
There's a lot. I mean,
it was crazy.
I mean, you know, in the heyday, you remember some of the. I mean, there seemed like there were milestone moments, like maybe that first Anime Midwest we did where everyone was like singing Diamonds and stuff in the audience, like, and that was in hindsight that was a really small space that they did Anime Midwest in that year, like that whatever ballroom, and like it's bigger now, but. Like I remember, like thinking, "Wow!" And we all, I think, were thinking at the same time, like, "This is a lot of people."
Similar room vibe.
Yeah, except way bigger.
they'd
Wow.
never seen us in person.
I wonder.
so-
Wow. I wonder how far they came from around.
Yeah.
Gosh,
the
we had
area.
people from the Netherlands,
Oh
and
my
Sweden,
goodness.
and
Wow, that's
France.
channeling there.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have. It wouldn't. None of that would have been possible if that amount of people didn't show up for that show. I mean, I think it's one of those. Well, we can only do one of those a year because we have just enough fans to get to that event to make it worth the event's afford to get us out there and stuff. So, we got offers to like
That's
perform
great.
other places, but I feel like if we diversified and did more shows, like then it wouldn't have been worth it for anyone. So I think
Just make
I
it
think
a big one.
yeah, that's the way, because we're not that big. We're doing all right, but internet makes you a little bigger than you actually are in real life.
And maybe if it is just kind of annual or less, or I don't know, around there, then it would give more people from a wider range to kind of make that time to go out there.
I mean, it'd be great to do other stuff, but I mean, you gotta face facts. We're not that big. We're big.
No.
We're big enough with the that's probably our biggest audience. Like it was around 800 people,
Cool.
and like it's not we've gotten used to some of the bigger crowds. Oh,
Mhm.
well.
Yeah, it was well over 900.
Well, I just
at
like to
that
talk
concert.
us down.
I mean, but technically our show last night was over 1,000,
Well,
so
you're
that's
right.
pretty
The
cool.
internet doesn't count. There's not real people because half of those are trolls.
There's still people viewing.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my
It is the sad thing though, like the amount of people that come that will watch like a live stream is like double that of how many live shows you'll do in a year. But it doesn't feel the same when you can actually see people at the end of a show. That feels like, oh, I performed in front of people. With the internet, it feels like
We just
Did
need
anyone
to
watch
get
it?
an audience into that room with us somehow.
Right, or the waves in the back of like the school kids plays where they're like this on boards.
Yeah.
You can just have people like doing this on boards like that
I like it.
in the background.
and that'll solve our audience problem because
Right. That'll be in there, the Halloween Pooptacular in October.
Halloween pooptacular.
I'm just giving the people what they want.
Wait, what, are there? Maybe Steve would know more about it, but at the Playhouse or wherever it's going to be.
Well, yeah, we have no
there's
idea.
there's
And in fact,
rules?
that's not where we were last time or the time before that. And
Our venue constantly changes depending on
Oh yeah, of course. It's probably at some random location somewhere.
some
out
warehouse in the boonies.
well, yeah, I mean, if we told, then people would like it. We wouldn't be able to use it if people knew where we were doing it every time.
yeah,
But
if,
so
if
far,
people knew that we were doing it at the Pentagon, I mean,
Okay.
the
I see.
warehouse behind
Mhm.
but it's been in a different
the
location
old mill.
every single time so far. So we're a little bit homeless with it because here's the thing: is we don't make enough money to justify renting a theater. Like we would not break even if we weren't like getting a good deal on some of this stuff.
I mean, just so people know where we were doing it. I played the employee at the cash register $2, and we used the back alleyway of a 7-Eleven. Hung up a tarp, and we did it.
I mean,
we did it there.
I mean, it would be cool to have our own space because then less and less costs. But as it is right now,
I mean, that guy said we could use it anytime we wanted to.
okay.
He says his manager won't even know.
Anyways, live streams aren't a way to make money. That's all I'm trying to get at.
It was, but we gotta evolve with the times. I mean, entertainment's changing, and we gotta be streaming and like
I agree.
getting all the memes in there and giving what the kids want. You know.
Yeah, I've noticed that about SPG. Trying to stay on the edge of what's happening with making sure like the internet presence is forefront and I've really been watching that and trying to like learn from it just because it's just in my mind I'm kind of like, okay, you got to go to a place physically and go play the show on a stage to like 4 people and do that for like 4 years. And then build it that way, but it's all on the internet now, and it's just blowing my mind. I'm just behind the times. Is all I'm saying.
It's hard. It's really hard.
It's
I mean,
constant presence.
The other thing that we were trying to try last time was stream it to Periscope at the same time because you see a lot of buskers and stuff just setting up a camera while they're doing. I mean, man,
Periscope,
if we had that back when we were doing Balboa Park, that would have been amazing. But
Oh my gosh!
but
yeah, totally.
for whatever reason, the stream cut out, and since I was on stage, I didn't know why, and Curly didn't know enough about it. So, but
Oh, yeah,
I think
But
next time we need
Periscope, like,
someone to do
crapped
like
out.
a Periscope thing next
well,
time.
no, I mean, I had it working like the week before. It just somehow it crapped out after 5 minutes, and I don't know.
I'm just saying
why.
we should have someone in charge of that, just specifically.
Well, someone should monitor it and check it. And
But yeah, that's
I want to run the stream and do the show at the same time, but I can't. That's my
Right.
biggest hiccup right now.
Yeah, we were kind of going through the whole crew. There's, I got to Curly but outside of that, is there anyone else that just is always along for the ride that could just be doing that?
my boyfriend's usually there. He was on stage this time. He's not always available, but he's helped out a little bit here and there.
But I mean, with Periscope, we're actually streaming what YouTube is seeing to Periscope as well. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So having like a separate,
I see.
having a camera would not. I don't think would help us because the microphones on camera aren't going to be nearly as good as
Well, we'll keep trying it.
I mean, it worked. I have. If you go to Steam Powered Giraffe's Periscope, there's me running it for about an hour, and it all worked great. And then the day of the show, I don't know what happened.
Is the group on Snapchat?
I don't think anyone has Snapchat. That one, I've never been able to like figure it out because it's so private.
Yeah.
Like having celebrity Snapchats, I never got because they're supposed to be like a one-on-one basis.
Steam Powered Giraffe
but
does have one, but it's not. We don't use it.
We use Twitter, Instagram. I think we're still on Tumblr to some capacity, but
There's
we've
the
kind of
Facebook,
vacated it.
Tumblr.
Yeah.
As far as like Steam
YouTube.
Powered Giraffe's
Twitch?
everywhere.
I'm on Twitch, and I think I'm the only. Well, I think I think Steve's still on Twitch.
I mean, I have a
Few
Twitch
others.
too, but I just don't stream. So
I use it the most, but mostly we were like streaming on YouTube, and
And this is
Yeah.
going to be
this will be on YouTube.
YouTube. That's right.
Well,
but only the audio.
Only the audio will be on
That's
YouTube.
Right, that's right.
Only on special episodes we put it on
the video up on
video, and this one's not
Cool.
special enough. So
But Engineer-eteers are able to watch the video, and which is
right,
which is an added
it's an
bonus.
incentive for
Okay.
It's an
to
incentive for
support
like
the band.
let us keep doing this.
And then there's going to be on the YouTube audio a picture of the Bennettarium.
And
Yeah.
then you're a cat,
And I'm
as
a
you've
cat.
seen.
I noticed. Can you give me a little insight into me being a cat?
Oh, everyone's just a cat. Whoever our guest is just. It's like supposed
Oh,
to.
I don't think you're special.
So like the Bennettarium, originally it was just like our faces floating around. I was like, let's play on the idea of like that we have this terrarium and we're like mad scientists.
I see.
So we're like cackling,
Yeah, yeah.
and then this is our creation, and it's your head on a cat. Sometimes it's Chelsea's head on a cat, and if we have more people on, we have birds. Like there's like a bird that I can put your head on, or like I can make you any color cat you want. So I'm not gonna draw like an animal for you, but I can make you anything, like a cow or like
anything within the what's already drawn.
Okay, cool.
So that's just what we do. I thought it was more entertaining.
Can
so.
I make requests next time?
Okay, next
Yeah.
time you're on the show, you just tell me what you want, and I'll draw you as.
So that's enough about Steam Powered Giraffe.
I'm sure Spider-Man.
I'm sure we'll get around to Steam Powered Giraffe again because that's all we talk about usually.
I mean,
but-
Spider-Man's pretty cool. Talk about Spider-Man. But yeah, just to touch on Steam Powered Giraffe again.
okay.
I really enjoyed the show. I think what Mike was saying about how hard it is to like keep your presence. We've talked about that before. It's just it feels like an ongoing battle, and it's like you're either with the times or you're left behind.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got to be on Instagram and Twitter, and you got to be streaming or doing something. I found that rather than like making a bunch of posts on Tumblr like I used to do, just streaming like artwork or work on Steam Powered Giraffe art, get so many views, get so many people interested in our upcoming shows. It's just about having like a personality online, I think.
It's weird. Well, when you're also a band, you have so many other weird things I've done a stream where it's let's make a song, and it's like me taking suggestions to show like how I usually do a Steam Powered Giraffe song. No one cares. No one cares about that. No one cares. No one shows up.
You know what I did?
And it took me like 3 hours to set up, all that streaming stuff and having that happen. And then maybe the next weekend I'll go and stream, and it'll just be me with an acoustic guitar playing some Steam Powered Giraffe songs by myself. Thousands of people show up. And then we do the live stream like last weekend, and it takes us a day to set up, and then the morning to set up even more, and then a few hours to tear down, and the same amount of people show up. Ah!
So just play acoustic songs. So see when I want to like stream a new video game, like a new video game's coming out, I got like no viewers. But if I take the effort and set up my backdrop, set up my stream, and then I do all my makeup up and I do a stream as Rabbit, and I've done a couple of those, you get so many. You get so many, and it's like so sometimes the work pays off. They just want to see the characters.
so
If you dress up
far-
as the spine,
I think we need to start taking makeup off and just doing shows acoustically.
I think we should like transition
on
to
our
like
cell phones,
like-
because that's because anytime I do something that is technically like it took a long time to set up, no one
we should
cares.
write in the story that the robots like got visited by the blue fairy, and they're now they're real boys and girls.
And also, she gave them chairs, and they just sit down on stage and play instruments now.
Just right into the story.
No, we come out on ATVs and we just play from the ATVs. That would be great. We never have to do makeup again. Oh my
In
god!
fact, we just sit down and we pop a CD into a
Well, we were gonna-
player and press play.
We were actually thinking about doing some acoustic sessions. We haven't really like done anything with this, but actually just doing like mini acoustic shows with none of us in makeup, and just like gathered around like a microphone.
Those would sound so good.
Oh,
we should
and
do
more
that.
people would show up than the
Let's get
damn
this
live stream.
Let's get this guy. Well, why? It's a way to feed the live stream.
Yeah. It's all content.
We should do it. Anyways,
But
you
it's
can't
just so
wait on
weird.
the internet.
It's so weird. It feels like, man, if we had a major motion picture that cost millions of dollars, the same amount of people would show up to watch it. You know what I mean?
That's the feeling.
It's the feeling. It's like, why even get bigger? Like, no one's gonna care.
you just need to keep streaming like every day. Just you on a guitar.
But that's what I'm curious. Like, how do you notice what things, the bigger things, like you said, that take more time, but then the smaller things are sometimes pay off more. Like, how do you ride that?
Well, I think
correctly?
the live streams with the shows, obviously, eventually more people will watch that stuff than the other stuff, just because that's the act, right? But like, say the thing where it's me, like for a few hours, like recording something and like interacting with the chat and stuff, that never really gets popular. But something that's easily digestible, like, oh, here's David playing a song acoustically, like that's easy to digest. I feel like the more, even though I feel like I would enjoy those streams of like, oh, how do they do this? What's the technical stuff behind it? Like the masses don't care about that. Like that's a very select few people.
Yeah.
So it's good to have those for just because
it can be hard too,
Yeah.
because like when you go live with that, it's just like it usually captures like a screenshot of you, and people can see what it is because it's right in the title. Take our live show. We have this creative looking like promo image as it, and the title's long enough they might not even know that it's a live concert.
Yeah.
So I'm always thinking like, how can we promote a live show and have like a thing that shows like us live without. But I think that's what we have to do is we have to go from to the last show and use that as the promo image and just put like live show, Steam Powered Giraffe. Like you got to make it real dumb, real simple. So because if people are scrolling through, they're not gonna they're not gonna read like a paragraph of text, right?
Yeah,
so I mean
yes.
that could be an issue too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just we're also combating a million different things, and we're not fidget spinner McGee fidget spinning.
That's
and
what
doing
we
a
gotta
live stream.
do. That's we just gotta.
You didn't know that
The
new fad?
spined fidget spinners.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, I don't.
The spine.
We're old men
spins a
now.
fidget.
We're old. We're old people. We're old.
Well, you're an old man.
We don't know anything now.
I'm not.
We don't know anything.
I turned 30 yesterday.
Oh,
Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh yeah. Brian's birthday's right close to yours. His is on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. I think it was.
Wow.
last
So yours is
Thursday.
on Saturday.
He just turned 32.
Yeah.
And so
We're all dying.
how old are you, Ben?
30.
We're 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
We turned 31 this year.
In October 7th, we'll turn 31 and no longer be.
Oh yeah.
We're a little
Yeah,
we're
useful.
getting more out of touch with the world as.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with it, except for me. For you guys, definitely. But for me, I'm on the cutting edge. I know what the kids want, and they want fidget spinners. We need to stream at least once a day, maybe twice of us just spinning.
It's just so. It feels like people will not appreciate good art. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to.
I think a lot of stuff is getting pretty diluted, so it's going to be more and more difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there.
We talked to 3 beach balls on our stream, and people just don't appreciate our art.
I mean, when you look at it, it's like it's garbage, but it's like it's really well done garbage. I think. When you look at someone else who just spits out stuff like a mile a minute on a live stream playing a video game, I feel like, okay, how much work went in, whatever, you know. And then people will watch like a big budget blockbuster movie and be like,
just imagine this.
it was all right.
I imagine this podcast, like, are people visualizing, like, we're all on a bench and we got, like, gray hair and we're feeding the pigeons and we're just complaining about today's youth. Back in my day, people.
Yo-yos.
But I mean, no, but I feel like, no, we do our best to keep up and we
Right.
try to keep the company running. But, like, even then, like, when I see other artists, I kind of shake my head and I'm like, you're gonna lose it. You're never gonna make it up. Like, not like our contemporaries and stuff, but you know, you see it and you're like, they're just not. I mean, it's great that they love playing music, but they're never gonna. They're gonna fall behind because
You have to be a
always
jack.
falling behind,
You have to be a jack of all trades. You have to turn into that, and it is about personalities. People want to know the people behind their. We learned that organically. I think we just came on the cusp of it.
But I can't keep that crap up. Like, it's really tough. Like, I mean, I'll do it every once in a while, and you know, if I do something like a live stream where I'm just like cooking with David, and it's just me heating up something that's frozen or something, like it.
You got really
people
popular
go
on Vine
nuts
though,
for that.
until Vine dissolved.
I know. But it's just one of those things. I can't keep that stuff up because it's like I don't have an ambition to be a person. You know, I don't want to be popular YouTube streamer. I don't want to be Vine sensation.
Well, buckle up,
You know what
because
I
that's
mean?
the direction you all
We all have to go.
I mean, it's the reality. Entertainment's changing, so it's difficult. But I mean, we found some niches here. Like
Totally.
our streams might be our baby pet project, but you know, we do all the supplemental content to keep people engaged and
Yeah, I mean,
give them what they want.
albums are the biggest thing. Music videos, but
Well, even that, like
those are-
Quintessential is still available. You know, like how many people don't know those songs?
You're right. There's tons of people. Yeah.
Wow, so many factors in time and place. and-
Right, like
and
how,
you can never do enough albums, and even when you do, it's too much. And then music videos are also tough because it's like we're doing everything on a very slim budget, like, and we're running out of ideas to put on a green screen.
Well, the group touched a nerve, and that's why I think the fans can be so heartfelt and real.
Sure, yeah.
And so it's just I think for that alone, and then I think when people see other people that into something and really meaning it, they're also inclined to want to check it out too. So I think it just spreads in that way as well.
I mean, a lot of our popularity is truly organic, word of mouth. So
Right.
it's
Yeah,
nice.
we don't really promote ourselves. We never ask people, oh, can we perform here? Like, we always, everything that we've ever done, other than putting on our own shows, has just been people coming and asking us to perform. So
How have the trolls been?
I mean, it only has gotten worse as the internet. Because
Yeah.
I mean, you can't expect, like, if you get more and more fans over the years, it's never going to go down. You know, it's always going to be like that small amount of people that were like nasty. Now it's just a bigger sampling size, and so they naturally get a little bigger too. So
Proportionately.
and so basically, you just don't look at the comments. You have someone like Chelsea go through every month and stuff, and hand pick some of the more constructive feedback, and then
Cool, I
and
see.
that and save that so then we can read it. Because if we go and it's like, how many times do you want to see negative stuff about, like, things aren't the same since
Yeah.
since
The
but,
feedback's
you
always
know?
there, so I never feel like, whether it's our more generous fans offering critique
Yeah,
or feedback or less than
I mean, it's
eloquent people.
'cause it's pretty easy.
It's always there. You're always going to stumble upon it no matter where you are on the internet.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
easy to, like, trolls who just like, oh, well, this stuff is gay, or this stuff sucks. Like, oh, this is
The
terrible.
lazy ones.
Like, I mean, you can't. There's not much there. The ones that obviously the ones that mean more and like, oh man, I wish I didn't have to read that. Are the
Yeah.
ones that are like a paragraph long, telling you
Aw.
why you're terrible. And it's just like
Projection.
Who has that much time? And that's always tough to. I mean,
It was even bad. It was getting to, some of it was getting to me like in 2012.
I can imagine.
I mean, we backed off of Tumblr big time, and that has dramatically gotten rid of a lot of that stuff. Because I don't know, some in the Tumblr age, we were just, I don't know, it was just we were on there so much, and like, I think we just kind of set ourselves up to fail.
Yeah,
And you're
I don't
just putting
rem-
out fires like
I
left
don't-
and right.
Yeah.
And also, album sales have not decreased since we left Tumblr, and it's
We were
almost
afraid, yeah,
like
we were afraid
nothing
of
has
that.
changed. People are still showing up to our shows. Like, it hasn't changed anything. So it's like, it's because as humans you only have a capacity to kind of imagine, like, how many 5 people are, how many 10 people are, how many 50 people are, but after 100 people it starts getting like, this is too
Blending,
much.
yeah. Mhm.
So the size doesn't matter. You feel the same, and I feel like on the internet it's the same thing. Like, it's even though it feels like a lot of people, it's a very small sliver of
Right.
the album sales that we get and stuff. And that's a weird brain screwy thing that you can't really comprehend. But then you look at the numbers later and you're like, oh, nothing changed. Like, yeah, it's a lot of people that we left.
Yep.
To not. I don't, it's
Yep.
a weird thing to think about.
So learning process just to kind of like how to live your life to not let some of that stuff in.
Right.
That's I can only imagine
been
how much
hard,
it's
yeah.
I mean, it all starts from a place of like, oh, these are people that really like our stuff. I want to interact with them, and that's where it starts from. But then
it turns into like, oh, I want to do everything I can to like make them happy, and then that turns into like sacrifice, and then bitterness, and then
Oh my
it's like a
goodness.
cycle of like. I think today and these days we have a much more constructive interaction with our fans than we did on Tumblr. I mean, we had some pretty great stuff on Tumblr, but now it's like with Twitter and even our Discord. Our Discord is a voice chat that everyone can go into, and
Oh.
David and I are always like
so, yeah.
coming in and out, like saying hello and offering like, hey, we're gonna do a stream real soon. You might want to check this out.
Cool.
So that community's grown, Reddit's grown,
Wow.
and it's just more. It's almost like, and this podcast, it's like we can have that one-on-one time in a much more, I guess constructive is the word of the day, but
And we're not the only ones doing it. I mean, this is, some of the podcasts I listen to, like, you kind of get it, like, okay, you're a fly on the wall, and you're when these people are having a conversation about whatever. Sometimes it's about video games, sometimes it's about something like this, like Steam Powered Giraffe, or movies or something. But it's like, it's almost kind of like, oh, these are my friends, but I'm not interacting with them.
I see, for sure. You're just kind of relaxing and just being yourselves, I guess.
it's done. I think it's done wonders for our fans, but it's done wonders for our personal lives too, and just kind of
Totally.
like
That's exactly what I'm talking
staying healthy mentally and
Mhm.
just not getting consumed with all the pressures
about.
of being in the limelight.
Well, question really quick. How do you insulate yourself from the negativity while also holding on to the ability to kind of be sociable and stuff like that? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think at least for me, it's just been a journey of like knowing myself better.
Mhm.
Like since transitioning and everything, it's just kind of like I have to be certain in who I am,
Mhm.
so I can look at critique
Mhm.
and take it for what it is.
Mhm.
An opinion that doesn't really affect me as a person.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, that's hard. It's
good
really
to hear.
hard.
I'm all ears right now because, like, man, I'm sensitive to a lot of that stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, me too. It's hard.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everyone it'll get to, like, even Sam, who never had anything online, like, the few things that he saw, like, he immediately, like, I don't want any part of this.
Just shuts it off.
And then, because I remember that early on, he would make, like, a gif of, like, haters gonna hate, because, everyone, he was replacing a beloved robot. I mean, replacing, but, like, and he made that gif of,
I saw that. I didn't know he made
Yeah.
it.
yeah, and I remember at that time it was different. And then by the end of it, he didn't care at all. He was just like, I don't care what anyone thinks.
Mhm. I think Sam has that superpower a lot more than.
Yeah, and
do.
I mean, he also doesn't really care what people around him think either.
He's
very
confident in who he
he's
is.
confident in who
Yeah.
he is. Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
I guess that's the key. Is
I
like
agree, yeah.
the stronger your beliefs are in yourself, the less people can tear you down. And it's
Yeah.
I mean, it goes in just generally like being happier is loving yourself more. So it's like that has helped me immensely. Just interacting. It's like every once in a while I'll get like a really hurtful comment and stuff, but
it's because people. There's people out there who will try to get to something personal that would hurt you, and most of the time it fails because they don't know you as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
But every once in a while, they'll hit something on the head that almost no one would be able to decipher, like, oh, that's really going to get to you. Because as much as you put yourself out there online, like no one will ever know you like, your friends or the people close to you know you, because everything online is a summary of you. It's never... Because even talking deep about yourself, no one will ever truly know you. You know what I mean? Like, because even at a podcast, I'm not talking the way I talk to friends.
well, I think
and stuff.
it's also keeping in mind that you got to keep your distance in a way. I mean, of course, fans want to have a connection with you, but I think most understand that connection is artist and audience. And getting a sneak preview into your personal life can be humbling. And can make them kind of understand you better. But it's kind of like you have your limits. You got to understand that you're a person and that you can have moments of weakness. And even if you decide to broadcast that, you can do it in an elegant way. You just have to know when to step back and not, shut up and not dig yourself into a hole.
Totally. Yeah, well said. It's good. To hear that.
I mean, it's easier to just
Good.
to spin flowery words, but it's tough. I mean, we went through the whole Tumblr crisis of like 2013 to 2014, where it really just got nasty, and we just exited by 2015, I think.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Well, we all went through it,
And we're not the only people that went through it. Like, you'll see people's favorite animators and stuff from cartoons and stuff. Like,
Right. Twitter
lots
just
of
can be
lots of internet celebrities of all sorts. Like, they all kind of go through the same things, and we've also been able to take. And now that it's so prominent in today's culture, like when we started, it wasn't as much, but now it's like everyone is part of it, and everyone's experiencing
Right.
it. So you see the celebrities, you see how people
and
are
not all of
dealing
them
with
can
it,
deal
so-
with it. Like
Yeah.
I think the guy who just recently did he was the actor in Iron Fist, the show for Netflix. He left Twitter because of all the hate he was getting
Holy
for being
cow.
a cis white man.
Oh, no.
It was like
just for being alive.
just for being alive. Like a lot of celebrities just couldn't handle it. It's because the internet is a scary, dangerous place.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the platform. Ours just happened to be Tumblr because that's where we were most active.
That's
Yeah.
just moving on to another platform.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can see it start to flare up in here, and you just don't poke the fire. Don't poke it. Listen to it.
It's almost like, what do you want? Do you want
That's
you want popularity and attention, or do you want to be sane and healthy?
It's.
Yeah.
I don't think they. Yeah, I imagine the more we grow, it's gonna get more problematic. Like every day, if I've had to just stop looking at YouTube comments, because even on my personal page where I have like, my transition blogs and everything, it's just every other sentence is about, just terrible stuff. Like God-fearing
I mean, we
Christians or people who think I'm an abomination.
We get that on Steam Powered Giraffe stuff too, but it's not
Yeah.
it's not only just that stuff. You'll also get people who are super supportive of that, but like have the same intensity towards something else in the band, and you're
Right.
like, I don't know if the balance doesn't equal out because it just doesn't make any. You can't get in someone's head like that because everyone is entitled to their opinion, I suppose.
Back in the day, we were
But,
pretty beaten up because fans were really broken up about John leaving. We thought like their comments were hurtful, but boy,
if only we knew.
there's some nasty stuff out there, and I mean,
the stuff that they accuse you of and stuff is just like well, there's no merit to it, but it's just like it's the feeling of like they could say anything. It doesn't matter what you've done. You just hope someone doesn't make something up.
you could probably be totally transparent about yourself and trying to be super honest and real with everybody about everything, and somebody's going to find something.
No, I mean,
yeah.
and there's fans out there who are just waiting for some. And I know it sounds like we're digging at our fans or something, but that's not what it is. It's just there's a very small group of people in any fandom of any sort where they're waiting for a reason to hate you because
it's like that with anything.
What?
That happens to me.
Right, yeah. People were trying to dig up stuff on Chelsea, who doesn't really have like the most in-your-face presence on our social streams.
And she's not really talking about her personal life and stuff. And even then, they were, even when
It's the nature of the internet. It's the nature of the internet. It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with being in a fandom.
It has nothing to do with our fans.
Look at any political debate online. Look at any of that stuff. It's the same.
Well, I mean, every once in a while, I mean, I have to see some of the YouTube comments because I moderate the YouTube, like the more copyright stuff aspects of it, and they put the comment stuff next to it, so I'll get those notifications. And every once in a while, I'll just see it. Even like if you. Like there's people that will say, "Oh, this is what happened. This is why John left. This is why Sam left." And it's just like it doesn't matter if even if you were out there policing like information, like no, you're wrong. This is the actual information. Like you could never keep up with it, and it's just like you just had to let it go, and you're like, well,
charge forth and just keep creating.
yeah. I mean,
I think the last
Sam's
departure was pretty
positive. Yeah,
positive. I think the last couple departures were like. Because the way we gave the information out, you couldn't really argue with it.
The handshake picture.
Right. We not only had a handshake picture, that post had it announced Zero and Brian in the same post, and then right after that we had a podcast
with both of them on.
Yeah.
And then we had a music video like the week after.
And I think Sam even came back too, and it's like you just can't get any better than that. Where it's just like
and there's probably still
no,
there's
yeah.
still people.
There was like I don't know, seems a little fishy, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I could see on y'all's faces in that picture just like how unbelievable this situation is.
It is what it is. But.
It's like what's coming despite everything you're doing.
But because Sam was with us and he saw all that stuff, he kind of knew what we had to kind of do.
Right. With
so
John's departure and with the backing musician departures. But
to be fair, like even in hindsight, I don't think any of the ways that it went about, because that all happens for a different reason. I wouldn't say that any of them went terribly. It's just this last one we played as much to the fans as possible, and because when you look at the other ones, you're like, well, we did the same thing. It's just.
Well, I think there's
we
also
didn't have a picture of a handshake.
There was also a reactionary. It was kind of reactionary of us. We were very defensive about our decision and stuff, and as soon as you respond, we didn't offer anything like that when Mike or Sam left. Like it was very. If people asked, we were like, "Yep, this is what happened. This is the truth. This is why you can believe whatever you want." And people just backed off. But back in when John left, I mean, the way that. I remember, especially the way I responded to stuff was definitely like asking for trouble.
Well, because you were trying to you're trying to explain your position to it, like, well, because you're almost not talking bad about it is worse than if we just said, well, never mind, we don't like this guy.
Well, with John, I think in recent years we've come clean that there was a bit of a falling out, but it all centered around John's contributions to the band. Like I feel like we spun it in such a way initially that kind of had a little bit in there, but we really just should have said falling out. Unfortunately, this stuff happens.
But I mean, it was just we were a lot smaller at the time. And it was the first big change of the band.
Right. And
now there's everything since then. It's always been like I mean, there are those comments of like, oh, I wish they just had a consistent lineup. I'm like, John was with us for like 3 years. Sam was with us for 4. Mike was with us for like almost.
Wasn't Sam with 5?
Yeah, if you can count with the robot. So it's like, what isn't consistent about that many years? Like that seems like a pretty good. It's like, but you can't fight that kind of thing. Like, even though if someone wants to leave, like Sam, like he's done. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. like that's not like something. Is there an issue there? It's just like, oh, he didn't want to do it forever. The end. So you can't account for all that
I guess
stuff,
in the end, you can't really make sense of it all. You just have to stand by your guns. I know, like, when John left, the first thing we had to answer to was we had the Cavalcadium as a physical entity that would join us for
like a
local
fandom,
shows.
Yeah, fandom.
And that was really positive in a lot of respects. We had a lot of help and stuff. But when that happened, when John was departing, that fandom, or at least the head members of it, called us on it and said, no, this isn't okay. We're going to get John and you, and you're going to meet up, and like we're going to hash this out so you guys are back together. It's not okay that we're not going to support you. John needs to be in the band. And we're like, wait a minute. What? Like, what? That's not what you're here for. It's like, you're not part of the band. You're helping us organize a community. And that was kind of like,
didn't know that.
That was not a good moment. Like, we basically kind of just disbanded that physical group because we were like, well, I mean, if you guys don't want to support us, I mean,
we'll find some new fan. I mean, that it sounds insulting. Like, of course you want to support who supports you, but at a certain point, it's like, well, we knew we were going to lose people because if John's your favorite character,
like,
of course.
We've worked with John. We had a professional relationship with him. Why we don't need to go to a diner to appease the fans and talk and act like everything's buddy.
Yeah,
like, especially not at that time.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't imagine. I mean, I'm sure there's people online who would probably say that now, but the majority of people understand that shit happens.
Well, I think it was it was a couple of individuals, and it's honestly like over the last, how long has it been since then? 6 years, something.
Yeah.
They've all come around and apologized to me, like all of them, each and every one. So it's like I think like
growing.
Yeah, they grew, and we set them up to fail by putting them in a position of power. You know, their hearts were broken because they had spent like 2 years with us, or 74 days each in the summer at the zoo with us, basically.
I mean, it'll never be the same. I mean, you get it. I mean, yeah, if you fell in love with the way something is and it changes, then why would you like it anymore?
Right.
And if you're not mature enough to handle it, and that's kind of what your life revolves around at the time, like, of course you're gonna want to lash out.
And of course, we lashed out too because we felt like, you know, it's not our duty to have to answer to the fans.
No, because I mean,
because
here we are thinking like we have to make we had to make we made a tough decision that didn't benefit the entire band, but it made sense to everyone at the time, and we had to continue on and continue the
like
group.
the service that we have to the fans is to keep the group going, keep doing our job so we can entertain them. It's not to basically go in the direction that fans determine somehow with the organization or something.
Right. And since then, I think the way that you've set up the group is smart, because now you can, no matter what, you can have like visuals and the click track and everything like that, just so you can keep it consistent with a core group, and then anything you want to add on the sides can just be much more peripheral.
Yeah.
Because initially we all grew from that Balboa Park, like, just acoustic performing, and the whole stage act kind of grew around that. And so when we have an upheaval, it kind of changed everything. So that then when we finally restructured it, like after John, after you, and with all that live music stuff, then it
kind of ensured us that no matter what happens, we can get on stage and do the show.
Right, and I think that's smart. And anything after that is just cherries on top, and on top of cherries on top of cherries.
I mean, growing pains. I mean, it's all growing pains because you.
Right.
If we could account for that stuff, I mean, we would. For one thing, we wouldn't have the knowledge to do that back in the day, and maybe the technology wouldn't have even existed. And of course, Steve wasn't a part of the band from the get-go, but he's been the part of the band for the longest, other than. I suppose, yeah. He's that first album when we first released the album after you and album 1. He was that was the first show he did with us. No, it was the one right after that. The first album show we did was garbage because it was just like some random sound guy, and it didn't sound. We sounded terrible, and he told us, and then he went in, and then he was like, "Let me mix your next show." So because he was just a fan that showed up and brought us water at Balboa Park.
Oh shoot.
And then after that, it's been like we've always tried to improve and more, and Steam Powered Giraffe has invested in him, and he's invested in his own company and stuff. So
That's great. How old is that guy?
he's the oldest one of us. Right?
Yeah, he's like 40. No, he's like, I think he's like 31 or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he's 30, but going on 31.
Okay.
No, because his birthday's in October like ours, so he's 30. He's like, he must be turning 32.
Okay.
And Sam was the oldest of all of us.
Isn't it crazy? Like, this January 22nd, Steam Powered Giraffe will be 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like, just Steam Powered Giraffe, like right when we
That's a
started
wild
in
decade.
Balboa Park.
I mean, you can figure the idea was probably a week before that, but we that first time that we went to Balboa Park, January 22nd, that was like...
I had written
kept that
Brass
date.
Goggles like months before and stuff, but it's the act as it is now kind of was, yeah,
That's
January 22nd.
Oh yeah, I was kind of asking you this
2008.
a little bit, David. What do you foresee 10 years from now? As far what do you do? I mean, I'm asking like, do you foresee Steam Powered Giraffe or what? Or what do you? I know it's hard to tell, but I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
I
Off
mean,
the top of your head.
If I think obviously we're going to go with what works, because I'm sure there's a way to make Steam Powered Giraffe work in any decade, whether that's
It can evolve.
whether that's it as a band, it as a YouTube channel, it as a comic or a cartoon or a video game,
Or some sort of VR pill that you take.
yeah. And it's just us.
I can't get that out of my head.
and it's just us, like you venting your problems to us, and us being like,
Well,
Yeah.
we've kind of been trying to push Steam Powered Giraffe as almost the Bennettarium. We're trying to like keep it. The Bennettarium's not labeled Steam Powered Giraffe, and we've kind of gone back and forth, like playing devil's advocate. Like, why don't we call it Steam Powered Giraffe the podcast? And it's like, here's why. And it's like, we're trying to brand the idea behind it. Like, we don't need to be robots if we want to continue this thing. And there might come a time when being a robot is just going to be faux pas because there will be actual robots. I mean, that seems weird, but maybe in the next decade, we're going to start encroaching on being,
That's an
offensive.
amazing point as well.
I mean, it seems stupid, but,
but you
but
know,
we don't know what's going to happen in 10 years.
You're right.
But
yeah.
I could easily see David and us and me doing something totally different with makeup, like weird characters that will never exist.
you can like paint on the robot paint, but then just paint on your face back on. So
Right.
now you're an android.
Or we'll
Yeah.
we'll actually
No,
get like
that's-
Android, and we'll just be a
that's
band of
what-
cyborgs.
I don't know why I would waste that much makeup, but yeah,
No one ever sees the middle layer.
yeah.
But I think it's going to be something like we're going to evolve into something we can't really process right now. Whether it's
Just
continuing the
energy
robots.
cubes
Well, yeah. I just mean generally, like the act is gone.
that are suppositories.
Right.
You just
We
shove
just
up
have to
your
keep
butt.
up with the times, and as long as we're creating art, we'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, and I mean,
bringing on
'cause-
people as we
but
see fit.
like personally, what do I want to do is I want to create more music and more songs, and I want to perform live. That's what draws me to
Right.
performing and being an entertainer. All the other stuff is fun to a degree. Like I like the music video stuff, but I feel like I'm limited there because I can't do every. You know what I mean? Like that takes a group of people eventually. Same with an album. Like it takes. But I feel like that's what we can do together. Anything else is like, yeah, we do music videos because you need to, but we're never never going to invest in other people making music videos for us unless someone really impressed us and was of our.
And we had the money.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, because like I don't think our stuff is great, but I think it's better than anything anyone's shown us.
The music video stuff is exhausting.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, we're still trying to work on music videos. It's so tiring. It's so much effort.
Well, I mean, it's another one of those things. Overdrive took 6 months to do, and Don't Have a Name for It took 2 days, 3 days, maybe less than a
Well,
week.
I think we can do.
And
we should definitely
which
do
one is more popular? And that could be because of the song, for sure, because it is, one's like
is
a
it-
parody. But the amount of work that went into the music video,
I mean, I think Don't Have a Name for It is the perfect what we should be aiming
Yeah,
for. Is
yeah, of
that
course.
putting the robots in a realistic location
yeah,
is just super effective.
yeah.
I mean, having all these creative ones, like I love Fancy Shoes, and I love Fancy Shoes is kind of weird, but I like the weirder one, the polls that Sam did. I love those creative ones that we did, or Hold Me, and where it seems like we're in like this artsy world and there's like
Yeah.
color filters and stuff, but having the robots just in a normal location is just so effective. Like Honeybee. That's why Honeybee works. That's why your song Don't Have a Name for It works.
Yeah, and we just need more location.
Yeah, we just need to go scouting and just
Because
shoot
the problem
more of
is
those.
everywhere in San Diego that we'd find where there's no people around, all kind of looks the same. You know what I mean? Like people start. This is the same location as.
We need, like, a
Fancy Shoes?
warehouse.
Like no, it's like 50 miles away from each other.
We'll figure it out. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I
We'll do
know.
it.
Well, congratulations on everything everyone has done so far.
Yeah, it's been a good group effort.
I
right?
really mean it's really
Well, thank
nicely
you.
done. Very
Yeah.
cool. It's just gonna get bigger. So
We got a nice group of people pitching in to. I mean, David and I do a lot, but I mean, David more than me, but we we definitely rely on other people's talents to help
Yeah.
push it along.
I mean, Steve helps with the live show like tenfolds. Nothing on the albums or anything. We always ask for like, oh, can you provide a voice for this or something? Like that's always like a given. And same with the Penyacs. Like their voices are on our cover of Marshmallow World
Right.
and stuff. Just adding the little female stuff. So we always make use of that if we can. And Chelsea did saying like a lead part on the Vice Quadrant to be the Daughter of Space, which was like pretty cool
Yeah.
because it was a very like synthetic-y voice. So it
And
worked out
Sam's
pretty well
written
too.
so many bits. He's spearheaded and pushed the comic forward and completed the first arc of it.
Yeah, the artwork.
Now we have
for the
like 2
comic and all
issues
that.
done thanks to him, and obviously like the musical direction and all the art that Sam's done, like just to make. I mean, and also just the technical stuff. Like a lot of, I forget it now, but a lot of the ideas that are in the act right now that we take for granted are from Sam, like and us just talking and stuff. So like
Yeah.
now it's great to having Brian on board and like seeing where his creative juices are.
I mean,
taking
he
us.
really wants to make an album and stuff. That's what he's all about and stuff. Because now that I've worked with him on a little bit of the recording with Marshmallow World and a little bit on his other song that we haven't put on anywhere yet. Like I can kind of see where he would fit in. Like he doesn't have much contributions for any instruments and stuff, but he knows song structures. He knows all that stuff. So
still so far
yeah. So
It's a good song.
It was very different when it first started. Like it went through a lot of
the
changes.
minute because he came to us just with like a recording of him on a piano with it. And I'm like, yeah, and then I sent him my interpretation of that with like just like basic tracks like placeholder stuff, and then we started playing it live, which is a really great thing to do because these last 2 albums we haven't been able to because like Vice Quadrant was like a bunch of songs we would never play live because they're about space and we couldn't do a whole show that's
space opera.
yeah. So,
Someday.
but like so it's so much. It is nicer to have like a song that you play live and then put it on album.
Yeah, I prefer that.
Even though I know people like when they get a new album, like I've never heard this song before, and they hear it because it's kind of like it's less interesting when you like, oh, I've heard this song live before.
And it's also kind of had time to gel into what it wants to be.
But that is
Right,
that is the
right.
best way.
But
to,
for us,
yeah.
our live music has always surpassed our recordings to a lot of people. And
yeah, I mean,
Probably the energy in there,
Right,
And all
yeah.
the other factors, totally.
and I mean it's also weird because sometimes I mean even songs that we played forever, like the first album, like Clockwork was so slow, even though we had been playing it for years.
And I remember we were even thinking, what tempo does this need to be when we were sitting in the living room?
Yeah, yeah.
And we couldn't. It was difficult. It was like it felt fast, but it was slow. But so we pulled it back, and then it's at the tempo it was on the album.
Yeah.
And then when we played it live, I think we sped it up. But I just remember it was a lot different.
Yeah, and when we did that, when they wanted that song on SteamWorld Heist, we were like, we can't make it this slow. We have to make it like closer to our live album. Live, anytime we've ever played it live. So we picked somewhere in between, and now that is actually our click track that we play to. And yeah, people notice. They're like, well,
I like that
I thought this
version.
song was supposed to be. Yeah, it needs to be fast because
Yeah, energy.
it doesn't have the second verse part that we cut out a long time ago.
it's just too much.
That was like in 2009, I think, at Legoland. We cut.
The second verse.
It's so
Second
long since we
verse.
sung it.
Yeah, but it didn't need it. It doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it.
I feel like you're because some
Oh,
songs
yeah, I know what
it's
you're
just
talking
like,
about.
okay, we get it. We know what the verse is. We don't need
I like
to hear
it,
that.
but I
again.
also like listening back to album 1 because it almost sounds like a recording that is from like the 30s or something, where it's just
because
everything takes
we
so
recorded
long.
in a
Like-
living room, like
right.
there's
It
no,
feels like
there's
authentic.
no isolation or anything.
No way,
It's a
yeah.
very indie kind of sound.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we mastered it.
Well,
Did we master it?
no, we didn't. it doesn't really hold up, but some people love it.
Yeah. Oh,
But you know what? Even at the time,
it's got heart.
when it came out, some people said it was too overproduced, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like as raw as we could probably do with digital stuff.
I think our most popular album will always be 2 Cent Show, and I don't know if it's because of the artwork or just that it Honeybee on it or what. It has a lot of good songs on it. A lot of the ones that we were touring with at the time, but
Yeah, a lot of good songs on that.
but that's will always be our most popular album. I think
because of Honeybee.
I mean, we know that next time
it is.
we're gonna have a song called Honeybee on our next album, and it's gonna be in sepia tones, and we're gonna see if this is the formula to getting a good selling album.
Well, I mean, you can pretty much all our albums sell the same, like old ones, new ones. They all like. I mean, obviously the new ones sell the best when they release, but like over time, they all kind of sell the same, except for these two songs, which are Honeybee, AH, and Diamonds. Those are the ones that like you can see that people are buying those three more than anything, and a little bit of Brass Goggles, but it seems like people can't decide which version of Brass Goggles they like, because now we've had live versions of it on CDs multiple times, twice, and now we also
people
have
don't really buy those though. And they don't. A lot of them didn't do the Steam World Heist one.
Because they don't like. No one likes the album 1 version. They like our live version. So then we did a live version ish on Steam World Heist. But it's like,
but no one buys that album. But if the first time we did Brass Goggles and we streamed it live or something, I think it was like the second show. Like people were flipping their lids because they love what it sounds like. It's like, yeah, that's the live version that we've been doing for years.
You should listen to Steam World Heist. But then people listen to Steam World Heist and they're like, I don't know, it's not the same. I'm like, okay, I mean, it'll never be the same.
But that's the thing. Like nobody likes the Brass Goggles on album 1. It's just we didn't even like the Brass.
To be fair, we didn't play that one live very often.
We didn't.
That was like we kind of created that on for the album.
And the live version was always super popular. It was a really cool.
But we can't win. I mean, we're pretty much you're shooting in the dark because some people will like the opposite of what another person likes, and eventually you just have to go to what do you like. And at the time we we're like, well, Brass Goggles from album 1, we didn't have nothing to compare it to. So but the problem with like fans is our decade long romp through this act, like that the jump between that Brass Goggles and the live version that people like, that's a long time, but to them it's like it's as simple as clicking on one version and going to the next, and like they weren't there for the discovery phase of like, well, we toured around with it for a long time and found like the energy and stuff.
Yes, exactly. That's a.
It looks like Gigi's gonna stop playing the piano now.
Well, you just put me back
for local shows. For local shows, yeah, that'll work too.
She's been.
We need just like put like a clip art guitar.
You know, she's almost comparable to your talents. It's almost like she inherited some of your skills.
She's got 2 fingers. It blows my mind.
And she can do what you did.
I there's a few notes that almost sound like they would work. Like when it has the close-ups, it's just me going like that.
Like I remember shooting that. I was so cramped. Like I had to like stretch my arm up, and while you were like controlling the arms.
It took 2 people to control.
I was actually watching it. I was like, who's doing the arms? Because they know the part, and so they're.
It had to be David. It had to be David.
No, because the shot away, like what we're talking about is during the live show. If you've seen our live streams, there's a projection of Gigi playing the piano, kind of like Kermit the Frog or something. Like.
Oh wait, I operated for the far away shots.
Yeah, and the far away shot where Gigi and the piano's there.
But we didn't know what we were doing, so when it cuts to the far shot, it's just random. And then she gets all precise when David's doing it.
Yeah, and then I'm like, but I don't know. I'm not doing. I was like, what's the point of?
It's so
like, there's
funny.
no way that I'm gonna match.
It's so funny
match
though. Like when you see it, just like
what if we put you in there? What do you think? Do you think you would get like? What do you think you'd be able to manipulate them to look like more closer?
I probably not.
It'd be pointless though. It'd be pointless though.
It's 2 arms.
Yeah.
What if she had like 4? Like
she were like using her legs,
or she like sprouts hands.
That's still not enough. It's still not enough. I don't know.
We need like CG of like a hand sprouting out of her hoof.
Anyways, it's pointless because if you're doing a local show, you're
I'm
just
gonna
play
use
it
this
anyways.
restroom because.
I bet if we went to Chelsea, have you seen any questions or anything that you'd like to throw our way, or should I just start rewinding down stuff?
I only saw one question from Ben.
Only if you see something that's interesting. Otherwise, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, there's only one question if you want to.
Is it relevant? Is it a good one?
It's
And like,
asking Michael if there's any instruments he doesn't know how to play and he'd like to learn.
yeah, any instruments that you don't know how to play, but you'd like to learn how to play.
Okay, I don't know how to play a lot of instruments. I don't know the stringed bowed instruments. I don't know brass or the woodwinds or the any of those. I think I would love to learn how to play the saxophone very well, or the clarinet, or the cello. So yeah, those three.
Horns never sound good in VST instruments.
Yeah.
It would be great to have like actual.
Yeah,
horns.
yeah. It would. I love the sound of that. But definitely, I just want whoever's watching and whoever sees this in the future. A lot of people think that I can play like a ton of stuff, but I just play the generic band instruments, like the 5-piece band instruments. And there's so many instruments that I don't know how to play. I play the banjo, but that's it. And I can hack it on those things, but it's not like I'm prodigious on those things. So that's what I have to say about that.
Good question. That one was definitely relevant.
We didn't ask for questions this week, so we didn't.
No, yeah, it's fine.
Oh my gosh, that's my mom. No, mom. No, mom. Mom.
So, So you came out with an album more recently, earlier this year, yeah?
Yeah, it's called Medium Fidelity, and you can find it on all the music distributors, I guess. Yeah.
That's basically like iTunes, Google Play, all that.
Were we promoting Mike's album? Is that what that was?
Well, you asked me.
Yeah, I was asking.
I was gonna bring it up.
Yeah, it's.
I'm sure that people want to know what Mike's been up to.
Thanks for asking. Yeah. Yeah. In that time between, you remember Luke Edwards?
Yeah.
Remember Luke Edwards? He has an album called Secrets We'll Never Know. Secrets We'll Never Know, and I helped kind of like produce or whatever you want to call it that, and played on it and stuff, and it's great. You can find that. And then I did my first actual studio album. It's called Medium Fidelity, and I rented a room and I just set up all my equipment and instruments, and I did that. And then I also released my actual first album, which is just a compilation of all my YouTube songs called Smallish, and that's also on music distributor sites and everything like that.
And it's under the artist name Michael Philip Reed, or
Michael Philip Reed. I just use my middle name because there's a lot of Michael Reeds.
I have the same thing with David. That's David Michael Bennett. Same stuff.
Nobody has Isabella Bunny Bennett. I guess when you get to choose your name, it's nice.
Yeah. Can you trademark a name?
I mean,
yeah, it's funny. I actually
figured that out.
It was a whole marketing because I'm not gonna have a normal name. Like, that's stupid. I'm gonna market it so it has alliteration.
Oh,
Bella Bunny Bennett. It's BBB.
Okay, cool.
Or IBB, like a root beer.
I just use whatever my parents gave me.
Yeah, but thanks for asking. Yeah, that's what I've done since then. And then I'm just walking dogs right now in Pacific Beach there. Yeah.
So Michael's walking dog service.
Yeah.
Do you want to promote that?
No.
I mean, I only do the Steam Powered Giraffe stuff, so I don't have much else. I don't have anything else interesting. Bunny does. You have your.
I've been doing a lot of Twitch stuff. A lot of it's Steam Powered Giraffe themed. Like, I do a lot of Steam Powered Giraffe art, and I'm working on the SPG comics still. We have a couple comics going, so I do a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do my own little show with.
I've seen
whatever.
I've seen some clips or maybe stills. I've seen one of in the past couple of years. It's been building up and building up and building up.
Yeah,
you have quite a following now.
I haven't been super consistent, but lately I've been feeling like really inspired. So in the last year, it's been a great way just to promote the act. Honestly, like,
I mean, when you right before you and Matt left, we had. Like, Bunny was transitioning then, and Rabbit was becoming female, and you probably saw a little bit of like how that changed kind of the dynamic,
I
like
did.
the fandom and stuff. I think that went through some changes. Like, we had a different audience that we saw grow since then, and
well, we always kind of played to the LGBT community, but it definitely hit full force after I came out, like, for reals. And like, I mean, you were like right on the tip of that when I transitioned the character, but it got even bigger when I transitioned myself in 2014.
Yeah. Are you in some different maybe publications or out on the internet? Are you the face of something?
You know, it's weird. Not as much as before I came out. It's like I don't do any interviews or anything. I'm just me.
There's every once in a while they'll have like do a panel at a convention or something, and you know it has actually helped us get shows that we probably never would have got just because they say, oh, this is what people need to see right now, and so it's like, well, we have that edge of like like, oh, we have this, we're directly supporting something, like,
Right.
and
Right.
some
It's
people
nice.
who would hire us would say that, like,
Cool for sure.
which is it's fine with that, with the rest of us, like, yeah, that's
Yeah, we get a lot of people coming up from the community saying they're starting transition or
Cool. Yeah,
you know,
you're-
identify as this or that.
Can help a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, all of us. I mean, we're really diverse now, which is great. Like we have men and women and trans women. And
we have more than just white people now.
I mean, Steve's always not been white, but no one
everyone
believes it.
Everyone thinks that Steve's white, but he's not. He's Mexican. But he looks white. The same with Carolina was Filipino and Mexican, but
and Gabby is not white either.
no, she's Cuban and
Cuban.
yeah, and but everyone looks white.
But it's great. It's great because I don't know. I mean, it seems it's not like we plan this out. Like let's have all these different samplings. But it's so
Grassroots,
great,
natural,
right?
yeah, organic.
Yeah.
And to have like David, who's a special snowflake, being a cis
A
white male.
cis male.
I mean, but it's great because
It's the normal. I'm
it's just
normal.
great that
I'm the normal
that
one.
everyone in the band is like
No,
super
normal.
progressive, super.
I didn't mean to say
cool,
normal.
like-
I don't want anyone to call me out. I said
don't know.
normal. I
mean,
I'm
it's-
the boring one. There
It's
we
been
go.
that way forever. I mean, we used to have a vegan. Now we all eat meat. I mean, it's true, right? You're the boring one, right?
Yeah. No. What am I?
But people love your character.
Well, look, if you go
'cause he
back,
has a cool hat.
yeah. If you go back to before all that stuff, the things I remember people liking, like us individually for, were more specific things, and now it's a much more broader reason. Like,
Right.
I mean, to be fair, I know it probably felt better to be liked before your art and stuff, and like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
like that,
definily.
compared to be like, I like you because you're trans.
Right. No, I mean,
you
I get a
know?
lot of that where it's like, oh, hey, I did this illustration that took me hours. Hey, here's an inspirational trans post. Whoa! But I mean, I love doing it, but
Yeah,
it's just
but
kind of like, yeah, I don't get as much recognition for my art and stuff as I used to, but I still do it, and I'm sure people like
maybe
it.
it'll kind of look like this over
Right.
time.
Yeah, the only stuff, Tumblr posts and stuff like it's those inspirational things like, oh, this person went through this, I can connect there, and so you'll see people like making that still, but it does feel like the broader picture, we have stuff like that in the band.
That's
so
good. It's so
yeah.
good for so many people, and anybody that wouldn't be able to handle it. When that transition happened, you can just separate the wheat from the chaff like that. So.
There was some moments. I mean, especially like in Texas when we visited there, all my awkward moments would come from there. Like, but there's a lot of well-meaning people.
And you're also we're in conventions where everyone who's usually going there, it's usually like parents or grandparents that are going, like you'll see just like they obviously they're not okay with this, but everyone else who's there is fine because they're young kids and everyone is pretty much progressive now.
All old people will die. And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
What I really like is that we don't even draw attention to it.
We don't. Yeah.
Like,
Our
don't even-
act never is like, and this
we have a lot of people that have no idea that I'm trans. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like, there's so many times people say, I saw your show. I've been watching it for like a year. I had no idea you were trans. I just thought you just had a very deep voice.
Wow.
It's really awesome. It's just,
it's great. It's got.
I love that it's just like none of that. We're not here to stand for something other than just.
Yeah. So that's like if our act was to stand for something, I don't think anyone would like it.
It's just kind of like acceptance and being like an outcast or something.
This show by doing like
Having metal for skin.
We're just a band, and these other things just happen to be a part of it.
Totally. Is there any events happening with the Pride Month?
No,
that's over now.
We
right?
did no. Our Pride Month in San Diego is in July, but no, we haven't done any.
July.
We did Pride one year, but
I'm just curious.
It was. They put us with the children's thing, and we weren't.
it's just not very. It's not a good venue for it. Pride is
yeah,
just like a naked dance party, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's nothing really. It's basically buying beer and stuff. I mean, Pride Month in itself is great and all, but the actual Pride event that takes place where we would perform at we had no business.
Well,
being
yeah,
there.
I mean, it's great that they found the perfect place for us, which is with the teenage, and we had people show up and stuff.
Yeah.
But just over that distance, you have the big
Yeah.
stages where
Totally.
people are just drunk
I
and.
see. Yeah, totally.
I mean, I've gone subsequent times.
It's
and
definitely
the
festival
drunken
feeling.
dancing, and it's like, okay, I get the vibe. We're not.
We
we're
would,
not-
but if
we're
we were
not
on that
gonna-
stage, we would bomb. Like no one would be
Okay,
listening to
totally.
us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just curious, like if there's any connections to that, but
I guess we're much better in a theater, and I think it's just what it is.
and maybe as it grows, maybe the Pride organizers or something like that could notice the demographic that this group has, and maybe have more of a kind of like
Yeah.
We've actually been like, I think we've been invited to the parade a couple times. It's just that the organization of these events they change so much.
Yeah,
so
totally. Okay.
there's been kind of interest there since I'm a local trans artist and
Yeah,
stuff. But
absolutely. Mhm.
San Diego is kind of San Diego.
Mhm. How many articles have SPG gotten? Would you say?
None. See, here's the thing. All those are like we've never been doing an awards show and stuff like that and I just think it's a kind of a joke because it's like, well, they have to know about you first, but like, it's one of those things like, wouldn't we just win if we just put ourselves in there? Because obviously we have a lot more fans than other artists in San Diego, but I don't care about awards, and you know what I mean? Because I mean, it's great when like San Diego musicians are recognized and stuff, but it's like, obviously we're doing really well, but we're not actively seeking accolades,
Totally. Cool.
I don't want to say that it's us better than us, but it's just I just has never crossed our mind, Like
A different approach, and maybe that has something. Maybe that says something.
Well, because we're making a living. I don't know if any of the other artists are, but I don't really talk to them, so.
How many of those are left? Those
Too
are-
many.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, way too many.
Chelsea's rolling a poster right now.
Maybe you should like throw it on the stream right now, just so people can like buy
Yeah,
some.
it's cool. I like that one.
We have
We have one box left of our giant poster featuring Hatch.
Gosh, we bought it so long
if
ago.
you're listening to the audio, there's just we still have some old posters that have Hatchworth. Not too many, but they're just no one wants them.
I wonder why nobody wants them. Hey kids.
Well, Hatchworth's photo is pretty scary on it, but it wasn't as popular as look at those three.
It's a nice poster.
Those three hotties. Like now it's just there's a scary clown in the middle. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't hang in my room. I have one of those. I'm like, I'm not hanging this up.
I don't want Sam to stare into my soul. The worst part is our faces are bigger than real life.
You can scratch out the eyes.
What am I doing?
No, I laughed, and I hope I didn't.
You can
Oh,
scratch
no,
out Hatchworth's eyes. Might make it worse. Might
Anyways,
make it better. Do we have any questions?
we took a few already.
Oh.
Yeah. So we'll have the Escondido show, the San Diego Comic-Con show. Look at that on our Facebook event, www.steampoweredgiraffe.com. You'll see that one. It's happening July
20th.
That's a Thursday.
July 20th. Thanks, Engineer-eteers.
And also the people who aren't Engineer-eteers, who are just free audio podcast listeners.
And YouTube audio.
If you want to get a look at this handsy boy over here, you have to subscribe to the Engineer-eteer program.
Sorry, I'm new to all this stuff.
See how fat he's gotten. I'm just kidding. He's not. He hasn't gotten fat at
I
all.
think he's actually gotten like
No, he's
skinnier.
gotten skinnier.
Like,
I
you
don't
need to
know.
eat something.
Do you need a pizza? I'm just kidding.
They're terrible.
You look great. Mike.
You look good. You don't look emaciated.
I feel good.
No, he looks pretty much the same. Yeah. I just thought it would be funny, like if you're an audio listener and you're just like,
You don't know that he's like.
and I'm not fat.
He's like 400 pounds now.
I wasn't trying to. That's not to make fun of fat people. It's just, it's funny because he's not fat and he's not obese, so that's why it's funny.
Let's just end this.
Not because I'm gonna dig myself into a hole first. Not because being obese is funny.
Here's a dead horse for you too. Here's a stick. Go to town.
I'm just saying, like in context, if if he showed up and we had to haul him in with a forklift.
Okay, David. Okay.
I just,
I'm not.
It's like you want Tumblr.
and it's
to-
not about,
to
and it's
hate
not
you.
just about Mike. It's like that would have been funny with anyone. Like if you haven't seen David Michael Bennett in years. Anyways,
Stop.
Carton in the spine on a forklift.
just because it's funny because I at one point I was super skinny, not because not that anyone wouldn't feel bad after the fact. It's just,
Oh my goodness.
anyways, I don't have to explain comedy to
can't
people.
believe you.
Obviously, it's not funny. Being fat, being obese is not funny. Okay.
Always end the podcast on the awkward stuff.
Now that we've lost a few dedicated viewers and fans, how about we play us out? Do you want to sing the melody this time, or do you?
No.
Okay, cool. I just had to. If you were hankering
I like doing
to be lead.
little
This is your
harmonies.
art prompt. I want to see this on Twitter. Is
Let me.
is fat spine being carted on a forklift to play his show? You just got to make sure to put like a tiny little guitar, and he looks like the spine, but he's like jumbo spine. That's your art prompts.
It's a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It was the Bennettarium. Oh, Michael Reed's gonna be at the Comic-Con show this year on the Bennettarium. Oh boy, it was the Bennettarium. And we'll see you next week or maybe the week after when we do this again.
You'll have a good day.
Okay, now this is the part where I have to go and turn off everything. And so we just kind of talk until I get over there.